3 signs you're ready for a spiritual shift. Okay, notice I didn't say 3 signs that you're having a spiritual awakening. So I know that you have been on what I've called before the hamster wheel, and that you are doing what everybody else is doing. Remember, I said in one of my shorts, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You absolutely do not. Now, I know in this world, maybe you're thinking you got to follow along. You want to, of course, occasionally go out on your own and do what you want to do. But sometimes it helps to just go ahead and follow along and do what everyone else is doing. That will make life easier. Well, guess what? You're done with that. You're ready for a spiritual shift. I just got a little goosebump feeling when I said that. Guess what? You're ready. You are ready. You just have to give yourself permission. Remember? Remember? Give yourself permission. I get tongue-tied still. Yeah. So give yourself permission to change your life. Give yourself permission to start noticing that the world is really changing. Things really are different. So let's look at what number 1 would be. You're feeling disconnected from your old life. Yeah? So I used to be in the Army. I was in for 20 years and I retired in 2020. So yes, I am completely disconnected from that previous life. I, had to notice, really ingrained into me, hey, I'm not in anymore. And I'm going to do a series on that for veterans to talk a little bit more about that. You're feeling disconnected from your old life. Things don't feel like you anymore. Let me give you an example. Maybe you are used to a set schedule like I used to be in the Army. Maybe you are used to going to the grocery store at 7 a.m. every morning. Maybe you are used to going to a particular club every Saturday, at 10 p.m. You start to notice that these things don't interest you anymore. Or maybe it's something completely different. Maybe you're not interested in your favorite ice cream anymore. Maybe your diet is completely changing. And guess what? The people around you notice as well. You start to feel disconnected from your old life. Yeah, it's very noticeable, very unusual sometimes. And even more unusual when, let's say, if your family comes to you and they're like, why are you changing? You didn't used to be this way. It's right. You're feeling disconnected. But that's okay. That is a natural change that's going to be happening in your life right now. And number 2, you're craving more meaning. Okay, you start to ask questions, right? Maybe you sit and watch TV all day, but all of a sudden you're not doing that anymore. You're like, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Why is that bird doing what it's doing? Why is that butterfly pausing on the roof like that? Why are things the way they are? Why do we just go along with things? Why do we pay taxes? Why? You start to ask questions. You're craving more meaning. You ask questions. You're craving more meaning for your life. Maybe you start volunteering. Maybe you start to look at things that are bigger than yourself, and how can you serve more? How can you do more? How can you uplift yourself to feel happier about things? How can you give without expecting anything in return? Craving more meaning, number 2. And number 3, noticing synchronicities all around you. And I know this has to be a huge one for you. You're starting to see 111, 222, 333. You're starting to see some patterns, maybe the everyday things you do, but all of a sudden you're seeing, oh, there's that orange cat on the corner. Didn't I see it on that very same corner yesterday at the same time? What was I doing then? And I have a similar story for you so that I can tell you something that actually happened to me. I would go outside, and this started when I noticed August of last year. I looked up in the sky and I saw something shining. And it's still daylight. The sun is starting to go down, but I see something. It's not a star. It's not a satellite. And of course, this is around the time when we start hearing about different, what do we want to call them? We don't want to call them UFOs or anything like that. What do we want to call them? Unidentified objects. Let's say that. I start noticing it. So the next day I go out at that same time. I look up, the same spot, it's there. We're talking about noticing synchronicities all around you. That's what we're talking about right now. So I go outside the next day a little bit earlier. It's there. I'm like, I go outside a little earlier the following day. It's there. And so then it feels like we're playing this little game, but also, possibly some consciousness involved there, right? Okay. Synchronicities that we see. All right. Some things that we're usually told, hey, that's a coincidence. It's a coincidence. There are no coincidences with the universe. Things happen for a reason. They happen when they are supposed to happen. They happen when they are meant to happen. All right? Noticing synchronicities around you. Let me give you another story of a synchronicity. Yeah. When you start to notice things, it's all a part of the synchronicities that I'm telling you about. That's why I mentioned the star. Synchronicities. I was looking for, and I may have told you the story before, I was looking for a place to go take my shredding. That was a part of my, the email clean out video that I did, or decluttering. So I was unsure about where this place was. Yes, I used my GPS and everything, but still I ended up in a parking lot I wasn't supposed to be in. I'm like, oh my goodness. So as soon as I drove out of this parking lot and made it back to the street to make a turn, the shred truck passed by in front of me. And a few minutes before I ended up in that parking lot, I asked the universe, I'm like, okay, please help me find this place. Simple, just please help me. And even whether you like to do a prayer, a mantra, whatever you do, trust that the universe will provide. Trust that the universe will care for you. Yes. That shred truck passing in front of me just proved and just supported me even more in believing magic is real. The universe is real. This energy is real. Trust it. I followed that truck to where I needed to be. And of course, don't you know that once I was finished, if I didn't find that location, the universe is still taking care of me. After I left, drove around a couple corners to go back home, I saw another of that same company shred truck. Yes, I did. So, noticing synchronicity. So let's go back over those three. 3 signs you're ready for a spiritual shift. Yes, and sometimes your ego is going to be fighting and like, no, we want to keep up the same schedule. We want to keep going to the club. We want to keep doing all this. No, you are evolving. You have a soul that's in you. You are evolving. Let go of those old things. Take a chance. Give yourself permission to do something new, spontaneous in your life. Spontaneity is a new thing for me as well, but I'm trying it. And when I have, it has been exciting. Even for me, if it's a simple thing as, you know what, I'm going to go out and get some ice cream today. Something simple. But those 3 things: feeling disconnected from your old life, craving more meaning in your life, and noticing synchronicities all around you. Once you start to notice these signs, guess what gifts and rewards you will receive? You will get more of those signs. You'll get more of those synchronicities. And make sure, and it doesn't matter when you do it, but when you start to get those synchronicities, make sure that you speak either in your head or audibly your gratitude for what you receive, because that is an abundance that is coming to you. Those synchronicities are gifts to you for opening up your heart and noticing. Okay? All right, so I hope that this is a big help. And remember to subscribe, like, and share videos by Wright Guys LLC. My name is Sherry at Spiritual Tarot Journey. Have a wonderful day and an amazing week. Bye.